All right, let's cross over now and bring in our Middle East reporter, Courtney Kealy. She's live for us in Studio 57 to talk about kind of the regional implications of this and what it really means. Courtney, great to have you on this topic today. What are you hearing from your sources on the ground in Iran? Because when we look at a map of the locations that Israel targeted, it's really quite widespread.
Well, last evening when these strikes started, I was speaking with somebody and they were saying, you know, they were sending pictures immediately. There were pictures coming out. The internet was working in Iran, and this video and pictures of civilian homes, residential homes on fire, you know, streets filled with ash and destruction from bombings. And then it became very apparent very quickly that it was widespread across all of Iran. And then that this was, there was specific targeting of Iranian top military officials. So it happened in literally rapid fire, an all-out assault. And those kind of bombings, when you hear them, when you've been in them, they're terrifying. And what as Iranians are saying now is, where were the air sirens of warning? Where are the shelters? They don't have any protection like that. And they certainly are still very many people upset with this regime, worried that if the regime had made some kind of nuclear deal with the U.S., that it would have emboldened the regime and kept them in place. They're saying now the reason why the Iranian response so far has been weak is that the Iranians have been concentrating on a war against the women. We know all those protests in the last several years, all of the human rights abuses. So people do concentrate on that. There is a protest happening in Tehran that's an anti-Israel protest. Also, if we talk about the region isn't sad to see this. I mean, nobody wants civilian casualties. Nobody wants to hear that more than 72 people are killed and over 380 are wounded. That's not okay. The IAEA, Rafael Grossi, is actually cautioning about the fact that Natanz was hit. The Israelis hit Natanz. It's a well-known nuclear facility, but that could be dangerous in terms of leakage. So there are all eyes all across this. While people are assessing this, we know that Israel says they'll keep going. And clearly now this morning, U.S. President Trump is allied with Israel. But you have to remember the weakening of these proxies in Lebanon, Iranians leaving Syria when Assad left, Iraq being a pro-Shia country, but not necessarily allied with the Iranian regime. So they're not going to find a lot of friends for this right now. They still ally with the Houthis, but Hamas, Hezbollah decimated. Lebanese are just still trying to recover from Hezbollah's rule. And a lot of regional players will not be sad about this. Of course, again, most importantly, civilian casualties, what's happening to the Iranian population. There's no place to hide. This is still a very tenuous, dangerous time for Iranian civilians as well.
And what's interesting about the way you lay that out, Courtney, is that if we look back at all of our conversations over the past 12 months, this Israeli action against Iran has very well been predicted. Netanyahu has signaled this is exactly what he wants to do, but this does seem to be a moment of weakness for Iran. So what's the end game?
Big question. I don't have the answer, but we're hearing, we can look at the tea leaves and we can listen to what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is saying, and he said this is going to be ongoing. I have covered wars with Israel, and the war in 2006 against Hezbollah was intense. It wasn't that long, but it was an intense couple of weeks and a very dangerous, scary couple of weeks. Same with the operation still ongoing in Gaza. We've seen the decimation there. So we're going to have to watch and see and hear what's coming out of Iran. And I'll keep you posted, Errol, because we have been talking about this for quite a while.
Yeah, and we, of course, spare a thought for all the civilians in the region looking at this with an incredible amount of fear. Courtney Kealy, with that great perspective, thanks so much.